A few years ago, I had my first ever experience with a psychedelic compound called 5-MeO DMT. It has completely transformed my life. In that experience, I dissolved. I became nothing. Space dissolved. Time dissolved. Jonas dissolved. And yet, out of that moment came the deepest, the single most life-changing lesson or insight that I've ever received from psychedelics. So in this video, I want to share the most profound lesson that I've ever received from the psychedelic experience. It's incredibly simple. It's only 3 words, and yet this lesson has changed every single aspect of my life. I still feel it even right here and now. Now, my name is Jonas. I've been exploring psychedelics for over a decade now and working as a professional psychedelic guide or facilitator for the last 7 years. In that time, I had the opportunity to facilitate thousands of psychedelic experiences, and I've seen all kinds of incredible insights into the human psyche, healing, growth, transformation, the nature of consciousness, the nature of reality itself. But there's really just one insight that I keep coming back and back and back to. It feels like this is where it all leads. So I want to share that with you. And the most powerful lesson that I've learned from psychedelics is very simply this: all is one. All is one. Let me unpack for you why this is so powerful, why it's deceptively simple, and yet this goes so deep. Now, you may have heard this idea before, that we are the universe experiencing itself through itself. And it's true. I mean, every atom in our bodies was forged in the heart of a star billions of years ago. If we just trace back the history of the universe, we know that everything in existence in this universe began as one. All of the galaxies, all of the stars, all of the planets, every single being in this universe emerged out of a singular, unified, infinite source energy. On a scientific level, we know that all is one. And yet, isn't it interesting how there seems to be this very persistent sense of separateness? It feels in a very real way that I am separate from you, that I am separate from all of the rest of life around me. Einstein has a quote that says, "The greatest tragedy in human existence is the illusion of separation." Man, especially in today's world, that hits. That's powerful, right? Could it be that our sense of separateness, of me being separate from you, me being separate from the rest of the world, is actually on some level just an illusion? Now, connecting this back to psychedelics, what's so powerful about the psychedelic experience is that it helps us not just to know this truth, but to feel it, to experience it viscerally in our bones, to feel the oneness of this with all of the rest of life. By the way, if this is resonating with you, we explore all of these topics in our free psychedelic community called Psychonaut Academy, where hundreds of other psychonauts are integrating these exact insights. It is such an awesome and supportive community. We would love to have you join. Please come check it out at the link below. Now, as we've discussed in previous videos, psychedelics have this amazing capacity to dissolve the ego, to dissolve our sense of identity, to expand our awareness and reveal that there is more to our consciousness, there's more to who and what we are than this one human lifetime. That's exactly what happened to me in this 5-MeO DMT experience. So let me just describe a little bit about that experience to you. This was a couple years ago, and I was attending a psychedelic retreat in Peru. And I had the opportunity to try 5-MeO DMT. For those who may not know, this is an incredibly powerful psychoactive compound that just so happens to naturally occur in a species of toad. It comes in this little crystalline form, right? And you vaporize it, you smoke it, you inhale it. 5-MeO, as many of you probably know, is an incredibly rapid acting psychedelic experience that's also relatively short or brief in duration. It only lasts about 15 minutes in Earth time. But the experience goes so profound. I mean, some people call this the God molecule because it consistently induces these states of consciousness that feel like a direct encounter with the infinite source of all of life, right? So I was there at this retreat in Peru, sitting down, meditating, just internally preparing myself for this experience. And the moment finally arrived where I took this pipe with the help of a facilitator. I was instructed to just inhale deeply all the way and hold the smoke in for 10 seconds. So just take as deep of a breath as I can, hold the smoke in. I almost coughed it out just because it didn't taste good, but I held it in. And before the 10 seconds was over, I mean, in the first 3 seconds, it's like I felt it immediately. I felt these powerful pulsating waves of energy just moving through my body. Held it in, slowly breathed it out. As I breathed out, everything around me started to look kind of pixelated and animated in a way. Very, very interesting. So I closed my eyes and laid back. And again, before my head hit the pillow, I mean, it's probably like this is less than 30 seconds from when I've inhaled this vapor. I am all the way in a altered state of consciousness that was fully immersive. I dissolved, my friends. All of these stories of this is where I've come from, I'm at this retreat doing this thing, this is where I'm going, that inner narrator, the inner narration just quieted all the way down. It disappeared. There was this intense wave, like this tsunami wave of energy, where I felt this unbelievable sense of acceleration and expansion. I felt like I expanded to the size of the universe. Space dissolved, time dissolved, Jonas dissolved. It was just this unbelievably expansive, pure consciousness. And this is me trying to put words on the experience. It really wasn't that much of a visual experience for me. If anything, it was just like seeing these waves of white golden light just rippling through. But here's the thing, there was no difference between observer and that which was observed. There was no sense of separation, there was no sense of boundaries. It felt like a direct encounter with the infinite, with the ultimate reality. And I could feel so clearly, so intensely, so vividly that the consciousness at the core of my being, the pure awareness, is beyond Jonas. It's beyond this human lifetime because Jonas was no part of that experience. And yet I didn't cease to exist. I became more myself than ever before. I could feel the life force more clearly than ever before. There was a really massive emotional impact to that. I mean, the only word that I can give to it is love. Just felt this unbelievable sense of warmth, of belonging, of love, of goodness, of bliss. It was ecstatic. In that moment, I knew that all was one. And it wasn't just some idea, it wasn't some philosophy or some concept. It was a direct, lived, felt experience. I felt it in my core. And I'll say again, I feel it now as I'm speaking. It changed my life. These experiences of union with a greater whole are sometimes called mystical experiences. And we know this from psychedelic research that psychedelic medicines consistently induce mystical type experiences where people feel on this deep level in this embodied way that all is one. And as I seem to say in all of my videos, these are the exact same teachings that spiritual visionaries and mystics and sages have been teaching all over the world and for thousands of years, that the very essence of our being is one with the infinite, with the ultimate divine reality. This is sometimes called non-duality. In Hinduism, it's taught that Atman, the soul, is the same as Brahman, God. And what this is kind of pointing to is that divinity or God is not out there somewhere. It's within. It is within each one of us. It's like the wave remembering its oceanness. On the surface, you look out at the ocean and there's a wave there and a wave there and a wave there. And on the surface level, yes, in fact, they are really distinct and separate waves. And at the same time, on a deeper level, there's only one ocean, and all of the waves are part of the same one ocean. This is the truth. We must know this. We must remember this truth, because as unbelievably intelligent as human beings are, we seem to have forgotten the most fundamental truth of reality, which is that all is one. I mean, looking out at the world, we see more polarized, we see more divided than ever before. And that's why this is so important. That's why I really believe that either with psychedelics or without, this ancient mystical wisdom of oneness or non-duality is desperately needed in today's world. It has completely transformed my life because, one, this experience, this knowing, this feeling of oneness has fundamentally shifted my sense of identity. I can feel that there is a deeper truth to who and what I am than Jonas. This is the universe experiencing itself through itself, as are you, right? There is something so expansive to that. If we feel into this, that what we are, there is an ocean beneath the wave. There's something so incredibly empowering, expansive, and enriching about that. This has brought me so much more wellness, I will say, because it's generated a greater sense of belonging, connection to life. It's generated a deeper sense of trust and faith in the mysterious unfolding of this reality. And on a social or interpersonal level, this perspective, it generates more compassion, it generates more kindness, generates more love and respect, because we see each other in each other. The same essence of consciousness that's within me is within you and within all beings. So that's why I'm talking about this. That's why I will continue talking about this, is because this revelation of oneness, of the infinite nature of consciousness, this is the key to unlocking higher consciousness. This is the key to unlocking more wellness in our lives as individuals and as a human collective. This is the key to the evolution of consciousness, which is so desperately needed in today's world. So, as always, I would love to hear your thoughts. Does this resonate with you? Have you had a psychedelic experience of oneness, of ego dissolution, where you feel and know that there is way more to your consciousness than this one human lifetime? If so, I would love to hear below. Please come check us out over at school. It is such an awesome and supportive community. We would love to have you join. It's also the best way to connect with me personally, so I'd love to see you over there. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you back here very soon.